Hi everybody and welcome back. Excuse me, coughing. As you can see, the wet palette is out and so is the paint, and I'm going to use a brush from now on, so there'll be no more airbrushing in these videos, I don't think. What we've got on the palette here is some dark sea blue, thinned to an almost glaze. We've got some of the bearing blue, or sorry, the Caspian blue mixed with some dark sea blue, and then we've got some Caspian blue, all very, very thin. And what I'm going to do now is just start to work on the axe a little bit. So what I want to do is just start to, you remember I made the mistake a little while ago. I want to start to make things like that a bit of a feature now. And just darken up some of these contrast areas. You want to have irregular shapes when you're doing non-metallics. You don't want lines. I mean, you want line patterns, obviously, but it's better that your shapes are irregular and look irregular. So what I'm doing here is just putting in some of the darks again. And I'll start with the darks and I'll work through the mid-tones in and up to the lights again. What I want to do is put a pit in the axe here. It looks like quite a deep little pit. So I'm going to concentrate on doing this on the axe first, on both sides, and then eventually I'll move on to the shoes and the blades and everything else. But for now, I just want to start. It's all good fun, isn't it? something that Alfonso Giraldez, or Banshee as you might know him, taught me, is to let the paint work like water and let it find its own shape, because when you're doing non-metallics, if it finds its own shape, it looks much more organic. That little mistake that I made there, that's going to look quite nice, I think. I'm going to use some of this mid-tone here just to soften away that light burr transition here. Okay. Getting some mid-tones in there. Won't do any harm. Bit of blue steel. I'm going to have to connect up all these lights to actually make it work later, but for now it's just fine for what I need it for. So I'm just going to continue to quite generously plot in some of these mid-tones, and then I'm going to just feather them out. will allow the patterns to come. Okay, making sure though that we still have proper dark. We've got to still make sure we keep that proper dark. Because we need that contrast big time. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is get some of the nacre, which is that off-white, kind of very pale grey. I'm just going to introduce a bit of that. Just give me 1 second to shut the shed door. My little girl is on the trampoline, which is where she basically lives. Okay, so this nice thin colour here, we're going to use that to start to trace in some of the lights now. And lights always want to connect with each other. When light travels, it connects. Light connects. Again, light connects. need to do this bit up here by me, sorry. Give me a second. This fine bit up here, I just need to have it a bit closer to me for a second while I do it, so it has to be off camera, sorry. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that obviously unfinished at the minute, and I'm going to go and do some work on the other side. The first thing I'm going to do is connect all these lights across the top, because obviously, as we talked about before, light travels and it wants to connect. So how are we going to connect those two? The best way for us to do that is a single line . Okay, now the miniature is so thin that it moves when I do this. Hang on a second. And breathe. Right across the top. And down. I think that this light here has to run all the way up to the top. Okay, I think this one needs to connect as well. But interestingly, there's a chip there that I've got to put back in on both. There we go. Okay. And what we do is we just have to keep looking and keep searching for the pattern and the volumes to make sure that we've got it right. And at the minute we haven't got it right. Not yet. Sorry about the very loud kids, but you know, that's Easter holidays for you. Okay. These lights are actually pretty good. Oh, don't want to do that. I want to draw that down like that. Okay. Okay. Right, 23 minutes. I'm going to stop the video there, and I'll come back in a little while and do some more.